You spent 12 years in a classroom learning how to be useful to someone else's business. 0 hours learning how to build your own. 3 skills separate the people who build wealth from the people who just earn it. The first one explains why some people make more from a single YouTube video than others make in a full year of work. And it has nothing to do with going viral. For most of human history, your income had a hard ceiling. It was called your body. You could only work so many hours, serve so many people. The ceiling wasn't laziness. It was physics. That ceiling is gone. Most people haven't noticed. Someone built a course 3 years ago. It's still selling to people in countries they've never visited. At hours they're not awake. They're not working harder than anyone else. They just understood one thing early. The internet removed the need for permission to scale. You don't need a publisher or a storefront. You need something worth paying for and a way to reach people. Building that is hard. Most people who try fail the first time. But once it works, the economics are unlike anything a salary can produce. A phone lights up at 2 a.m. Another sale. The person who built that product is asleep. Most careers will never produce a moment like that. Not because the people in them aren't capable, but because the model they're in physically can't allow it. Here's the part that doesn't get said enough. The same internet that makes leverage possible also made average work easier to replace. Leverage isn't a safety net. It's the skill of building something the market keeps choosing over and over without you having to show up each time, which is why the second skill determines whether the first one ever pays off. In 2012, a company called Dollar Shave Club released a one-take video with a $4,500 budget. It got 12,000 orders in the first 48 hours. The razors weren't better than Gillette's. The story was, this is what changed in the last 20 years. Distribution used to be the hard part, getting your product in front of people. Now distribution is almost free, which means the hard part is now attention. And attention doesn't follow the best product anymore. It follows the best story wrapped around a product. 2 people sell the same online course. Same topic, same price, same platform. One makes $800 a month. The other makes $80,000. The difference is almost never the content. It's how one of them makes you feel before you even buy. The problem they name, the future they describe, the specific person they seem to be talking directly to. That's not marketing fluff. That's a measurable economic skill. And it transfers across every industry. Sales, investing, hiring, fundraising. The people who understand narrative are consistently overcompensated relative to their peers who don't. The uncomfortable part, most of what we call talent in knowledge work is actually storytelling in disguise. The consultant who wins the client, the founder who closes the round, the candidate who gets the offer, rarely the most qualified person in the room, usually the clearest one, but even people who earn serious money through leverage and storytelling can still end up with nothing because of the third skill, which has nothing to do with earning at all. Here's a number worth sitting with. The average American doctor will earn around $6 million over their career. Most retire with a fraction of that in actual assets. This isn't a spending problem. It's a thinking problem. High income creates a dangerous illusion that earning more is the same as becoming wealthier. It isn't. Income and wealth are different things. Income is what comes in. Wealth is what you own when the income stops. Most high earners were never taught the difference. The people who actually build wealth, not just earn it, think about money in terms of allocation, not lifestyle. Every dollar has a destination before it arrives. Most of those destinations are assets, things that grow, rent, compound, or pay dividends without requiring more hours. An average earner who puts $500 a month into index funds for 30 years consistently will likely retire wealthier than a 6-figure professional who spends most of what they make. That's not inspiration, that's math. The sad part is that the professional probably worked harder. They just weren't taught to think differently about the money once it arrived. Schools are good at producing competent professionals. They're just not designed to teach what happens after the paycheck clears, which raises an obvious question: why not? The easy answer is conspiracy. Schools are keeping you financially dependent. The system is rigged. That's not really true, and it's too convenient. The more accurate answer: schools were designed for a different economy, the industrial one where the goal was producing reliable workers for predictable jobs. Not entrepreneurs, not investors, not creators. That system worked well for a long time. It just hasn't kept pace. The 1950s curriculum is being used to prepare people for a 2020s economy. Nobody decided to leave out leverage or capital allocation. Those skills just weren't relevant when the system was built. Schools still do what they were built to do: create competent, employable people. That's genuinely valuable. It's just not sufficient anymore for the economy most people are actually trying to navigate. So how do people learn what school skips? A failed product launch that teaches more about positioning than any marketing course. A bad investment that explains risk tolerance in a way no textbook does. A piece of content that flops, then one that doesn't. And the slow realization of what was different. The internet compressed the feedback loop that used to take decades. 30 years ago, learning how business actually worked meant years of apprenticeship, slowly absorbing what experienced people rarely wrote down. You needed access. You needed proximity. Most people never got either. Now someone can launch something, get real market feedback within days, adjust, and try again. The entire loop that used to take years takes weeks, sometimes days. That speed is the actual advantage, not the information itself, which is mostly free. The advantage is iterating faster than the people who are still preparing to start. Most people treat readiness like a prerequisite. The internet rewards people who treat it like a byproduct, something that shows up after you've already begun. One more thing, and this one tends to stick. The people who develop these skills fastest are rarely the smartest or the most resourceful. They're the ones who stopped waiting for the right moment and made the wrong moment work. The modern economy isn't rewarding harder work. It's rewarding different thinking. Leverage. One thing reaches thousands of people without requiring more of your time. Storytelling. The right framing makes people choose you over someone equally qualified. Capital allocation. What you do with money after it arrives determines whether it compounds or disappears. None of these are taught in school, not because they're secret, but because the system that shapes education was built before they mattered at scale. The people who figure this out early don't necessarily work more. They don't always have more talent. They just stopped operating by rules designed for an economy that no longer exists. That's not an advantage you need a degree to access. It's one you build, one skill at a time.